Welcome to another episode of Amputee Outdoors. I'm your host Glenn, and today I'm going to do a kind of a special thing that's just really for amputees. So if you're not an amputee, you'll probably find this interesting, but if you are an amputee and you've wondered about this, this might be helpful. So this comes from a couple of questions I got online through some social media. It's like, hey, I'm an amputee as well, and getting in and out of a hammock is kind of tricky with my prosthetic leg. And what do I do with my prosthetic leg? Do I just leave it on the ground there? A little worried about bugs getting in it or getting wet or whatever. So what I thought I would do is I put together kind of a demonstration video of how I handle my prosthetic leg getting in and out of this hammock that I've got, okay? So just hang on for a second and I'll bring the camera a little bit closer so you can see how I do everything. Hi, okay, so keep in mind my hammock is a little bit different. I've got the spreader bars there, which can actually make the hammock more tipsy. For instance, like this, when the wind's blowing. So getting in and out of my hammock with a prosthetic leg, there's a couple of other extra challenges in there because of that you wouldn't find with a hammock that doesn't have spreader bars. Without a spreader bar, it's actually quite easy. In fact, without the spreader bars, it's almost impossible to tip a hammock over. Right? Once you're in there, and you've literally got to have someone at either end flipping the whole thing over to make it happen. But with the spreader bars, there's a little more trickery to it, but I've never had much of a problem with it. Let me show you how I do this, right? Like with every hammock, the first thing you want to do is figure out, hey, where's my center? And that's pretty easy to just kind of eyeball. So, first, on the edge. You're just going to put your butt on the edge of the hammock, okay? Right there on the edge, right there. So you can just feel it right under your legs there. And you want to make sure your hammock's at a height where you've got like a 90-degree angle on your knee, with your knees, right? Any lower is kind of awkward. You might be drooping too close to the ground. Any higher, and you may be a little bit too high. You don't want to get so high that you're worried about if you fall, okay? Also, for us amputees, and this is a key element, being at this 90-degree knee angle here, kind of like sitting at a chair, it's very crucial for being able to take off your prosthetic comfortably and easily. I've also got this bag here, so I'm going to show you what to do with it in just a minute, okay? All right, so you're getting into your hammock. Now, the first thing you're going to do is not take off your prosthetic. The first thing you're going to do is actually take off your regular boot, okay? So get yourself kind of situated on your hammock so you've got a nice comfortable seat there, okay? And get your boot off. Okay? Just rest your foot on that boot there. Now you're going to do your prosthetic. Okay? If you got like the pin style that I've got, just press that button. Okay? And off comes your leg. No problem. Okay? This is where this bag comes in. I made this bag so it cinches up at the top here, but it's got an opening here. Okay? So what I can do, I can take my boot, I can put it in there, and then I can also suspend my prosthetic from this as well. Now what this will do is keep all my stuff, my boots, my prosthetic, off the wet ground and away from bugs. There's my prosthetic, hung up like this, out of the way and off the ground. Now I'm in my hammock. I can just relax back like anyone else would do. Now the next question you've got, of course, is, okay, I've got my sleeve here. What should I do with my sleeve? All right, so during the summertime, what I'll often do with my sleeve, I'll just put in this. It'll fit in here very nicely. I made this actually a little bit bigger than your normal kind of ridge-line bags just to fit my prosthetic sleeve. You can put it up in there in the summertime. It's perfectly fine like that. However, during the wintertime, fall, spring, when it's a bit colder up here in the northern areas, your sleeve will get freezing cold overnight. I mean, you put the thing on in the morning and whoa, you're awake really well then. You're just, it's too much. You don't want that. So what you do, you take your sleeve and put it next to you in your sleeping bag. You just tuck it next to you, nice and comfortable, nice and warm, okay? Now when you're hiking and camping with your prosthetic, one of the things you've got to do is make sure you keep your stump clean and keep this clean. Because during the day when you've been out hiking, this gets very, very sweaty. You know that, right? So you get your baby wipes, and you clean out the inside, and then you clean your stump, okay? make sure you've got that nice and clean from when you put it on in the morning, okay? All right, so morning comes, you get your sleeve back out. All right, get it lined up with your bone, with a pin, like I do with mine. If you've got a vacuum one, I think it's a little bit different. And get your prosthetic. The first thing you're going to put on is your prosthetic, not your regular boot, okay? You get your prosthetic on first. You just kind of get your foot, your stump kind of rested in there in your socket. You don't have to sink it all the way down just yet. Just get in there so you're resting, so you've got a balance point to work with, right? Get your boot back out of your bag there. And get your boot on. Now you can stand up, put the weight on, and get yourself sunk into your socket properly. And then just tie your boot lace. That's that, okay? Hammocks can be a little bit challenging in and of themselves. With a tent, piece of flat ground, lay it out, you're pretty much done. You just gotta, find a piece of flat ground, okay? Problem, of course, is if you're out camping, finding that piece of flat ground. And where I go camping sometimes, even with the scouts and established campsites, that's not always possible. The hammocking always takes a little bit of engineering, and especially if you're an amputee, it takes a little bit more, but it's very, very doable. I've been doing it for a few years now. I absolutely love it, and I have only slept in a tent once in the past, 3 years, and it was awful. Hated it. But with a hammock, an amputee can do this very, very easily. And make yourself a bag, or get a bag like this suspended from your ridge line to put your boot and your prosthetic on to keep everything up and out of the dirt and the mud and keep the bugs away, and you're good to go. All right? All right, I hope this has helped you. I hope this has given you some useful information. If you have any questions or suggestions, and you're an amputee as well, and some things you'd like to point out, please tell me. Put them into the comments, okay? And give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already. And I hope to see you out on the trail, hiking with all those other folks that enjoy the great outdoors. See you out there.